our train ride out to Fujigaoka, which is where we are now, was just on a normal subway. And some of it was underground, some of it was above ground, and it was a nice little ride. The reason that I've come out here, though, is to ride a different train. And the different train is unique in all of Japan because it is the only operating Maglev commercial, like operating, actually functioning Maglev system in the country. And the reason this is kind of interesting to me, especially in Nagoya, is because they are trying to build a Shinkansen bullet train style Maglev train that goes between Nagoya and Tokyo and then eventually to Osaka. And it's supposed to be open in like 2027 or something. But there's all these like problems with the construction because different places that the train line is going through are protesting it. In one place they have to build a tunnel through a area with a lake, and the people that live there are worried the lake is gonna like just all like go through the tunnel and then they'll have no lake. So like some politician was elected recently on the platform of stopping the Maglev Shinkansen system. So this train that they've been working on for like decades is still just kind of hung up in like development hell. And it gets a lot of press and people talk about it all like, oh, we're gonna have this Maglev, and it goes like 500 kilometers an hour or something. It's insane. It's like really, really incredible technology. But I was unaware that there was already an operating Maglev line, and that's what starts here. So we're gonna go and get on this Maglev line, and it was built specifically for the 2005 World Expo or something. I think that's what I read on Wikipedia 5 minutes ago. And it does not do like super high speeds or anything, but it is a Maglev system where it floats above the ground. Like an inch. It's like this high up off of like its track system or whatever. And I don't think I've ever been on a Maglev system. There's a few of them around the world, but because most of my train experience is in Japan and this is the only Maglev system in Japan, I haven't been on it. And the reason this really hit me up as interesting is because I wanted to ride the other Maglev system that they're working on building, and a few years ago they had like a way that you could go and ride it as like an experience, like they were doing test runs, but I couldn't ever win the lottery to get tickets for it. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm never gonna ride a Maglev, but that changes now. For those that may not know what a maglev is, you probably can figure it out by just the word, but it's like magnetic levitation. And
I don't understand how it works. How do the magnets tell each other which direction to go?
I think that like it has like a positive charge on the one thing and a negative charge on the track or whatever. Like the machine has a positive and a negative, and then they push electricity through the track and it pushes the machine apart. But then you have to think about how do they get electricity to this machine? Because it's floating. You're like an inch above the rails, like you're not touching anything. And it's really obvious because when you're riding it, it's really, really smooth.
It is really shockingly smooth. I mean, it does like go back and forth this way, but this ride, it flows.
It feels kind of like the Shinkansen.
You don't feel the truck that you would normally feel. Not that JR's trains are doing a whole lot of that, but there's a notable difference.
Yeah, for sure. It is a small little train. It's not very many cars. We walked from one end to the other end in like a minute. So I don't know, maybe it's like 3 cars long or something like that. And it feels like a local commuter-ish type of system more than like something that would be long distance. And I don't think the track is like super long or anything, but it feels very, very modern. And the thing that surprised me, and I didn't realize this, is that there's nobody driving this thing. There's no driver, which I know isn't that weird. Like you go to the airport or whatever and they have like autonomous train lines or whatever, but that's pretty rare in Japan. There's almost always a staff member at the front of the train driving and a staff member in the back making announcements and like keeping track of things and stuff. But like there was a dude that worked for the train on here and he got off. And when we walked through the train, there was no staff. Like, we're all alone. We're here to fend for ourselves.
Let's burn it to the ground, Eric. That's immediately what I thought. I was like, yep, we're burning it to the ground.
I don't know if we could get it to the ground. It's being pushed up by magnets, man.
How do you burn a magnet?
I was thinking about this while we were walking past this beautiful little lake. How do they get power to the maglev train? And they don't. Well, they have to. Maybe it's got batteries on it for like the announcements and stuff, but the motion, I bet the way it works is the train is like dumb in the sense of like how it's like levitated and how it moves forward. And the track is alternating positive and negative. So like that alternation goes back and forth fast enough that it propels the train. Like when you put a magnet on something, how you know how it pushes it forward a little bit? Like if it's if you have like the opposite side, like it pushes it away, right? So if you just alternated that along the track, I think you could create propulsion forward. I bet you that's how it works. So it's not like, I mean, it's not like there's like, how else does it move? It has to use the electrical force. So it's not pushing against anything else, nothing else to touch. So it must be something in the way that works. They don't actually have to push motion electricity into the actual train, but maybe just like there must be a battery or something, or maybe they can like, you know how you can wirelessly charge a phone? I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense. It's like,
I see that.
what kind of science is this?
It's like, master level science.
Yeah, it's like magic is what it is. This highlight was a clip from a visit to Nagoya, Japan. Check out the full video on our main channel linked on screen and down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe here too for more highlights.